Hey guys, we are in Humble, Texas for the C3 Group Calm After the Storm Golf Tournament, which this year the proceeds are going to Roofers in Recovery, and you know how much we love those guys. So we have come out here to hang out, spend a day on the links. Maybe, you never know. We'll see what happens. So we'll let you guys kind of tag along, learn a little bit about what this group is all about, and how C3 Group is giving back to the industry while they're having some fun. Let's go check it out.
Great day today. Don't forget to make sure this is a charity. This helps put through, and Eric too, sorry Eric. This puts roofers through the recovery process. So this is really important for our industry. This is really important to us at C3 Group, and we're just happy you guys could all be here to support them. And let's have fun today. And we'll see everyone at the event at the very end.
Are you serious? Thank you. Does he get one too?
Of $40 in this area.
This is a nice, quaint crowd, so thank you everyone for coming and staying. I know a lot of people got out of here, but thank you so much for hanging around. This is our first ever Calm After the Storm charity golf tournament, so thank you everyone for coming.
Maybe pizza. This is pizza.
Okay, cool. So anyway, thank you guys. This was our first year. We're going to continue doing this with the support of Matt and the team, and hopefully MMA will come back. We have to since you won. But hopefully you guys will come back again. This is our first year. We want this to be double the size, obviously, that it was this year. We kind of think the hurricane kind of screwed us a little bit since we decided to come down to Houston. So hopefully that'll change next year. And we have very, very, very lofty goals for 2022. We sent upwards of, like I said, almost 20 people to treatment this past year. And remember, it costs $15,000 to $20,000 every time we send somebody to treatment.
Yeah, I think that's important to throw out there is, when we all started that, like I said, it initially started with Eric and I talking about one person. We started talking to Jonathan, we started talking to Irish, we started talking to other people, and it just really blew up. Andrew had sent me a message. He was telling him, he sent me a message a couple years ago. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was a place on Facebook, like roofers, that were drunks could go and whatever? Like, yes. So we started that, but it's a crazy thing with the world as it is right now, especially in roofing, right? What is the lowest job entry going to roofing? So what do you get into roofing? A lot of alcoholics, a lot of drug addicts, people coming out of prisons because there's no licensing. We don't have to go take a bar exam. We don't have to do any of those things. You can just start a roofing company. So you attract a lot of people that maybe have some issues. And so I can promise you this. Everybody in this room knows somebody or is affected by somebody that's struggling with drugs or alcohol. And we make it very clear, we're not against drinking and having fun. There's just a few of us, like us standing here and a few other people in the room, that at some point in our life, we lost our privilege. We lost our privilege to drink or smoke weed or do any of those things. We lost our privilege. Doesn't mean that we can't associate with people and we can't have fun and go out like there was beer and whatever here in the golf tournament today. That's fine, we're not against that. That's kind of the perception. But our whole goal that we want to do is ultimately, we want to put families back together. Drugs and alcohol, when you use them like people like us use them, tear families apart. They absolutely tear families apart. I'm gonna pick on George here for a second. George, hope you don't mind. I should ask you before. George recently, come up here for a second, brother. man George here. 90 days ago, where were you, brother?
I was in Valley Hope.
He was in Valley Hope. I promise you, the man that you see before you today is a completely different man than what we seen 90 days ago.
Holy shit, I can tell you that.
Like, we literally had to kick him off the meeting, right?
Yeah.
It was bad. But what it's doing is how old's your son?
7.
7 years old. Bringing families back together, relationships back together, and that's what it's about. Is people like George to bring that back. So sorry to throw your dirt out there, brother, but you're on the front row. So, but this is what it's about. It's about guys like George. It's not about myself, Jonathan, Eric, anybody that's else on the board. It's about George and his son. And I promise you, there are thousands and thousands of Georges across the whole United States.
It's amazing, you know, we have the golf tournament and we all get to hang out and we're cutting up and we're having a good time. And sometimes when we're out there doing that, we don't realize how much of a positive influence we're actually doing. You know, I have a little bit different take on it because these guys have real long-term sobriety, and I've had the honor and the privilege to get to work alongside of them. For me, Roofers in Recovery is why I'm sober today. Just so you know what you're believing in and you're dealing with, I grew up in organized crime. Mother was a prostitute and a drug addict. I could not seem to get it straight. I got over the heroin addiction, but just ended up being very violent, couldn't let go of the drinking, and really just became a con and a liar, just lied my way through everything. Tried to make everything work. I'm a Christian. Church didn't even work for me. Met Paul, met Eric. They got me to go to a home group, got real with myself, watched God, restore my relationship with my family, haven't had a drink, and watch everything begin to happen just in recovery. So I'm proof, you know, God can do it with me, he can do it with anybody, and have a little bit different perspective because I'm so new in the sobriety. So you don't understand. Thank you so much, because if it wasn't for individuals like yourself believing in a program like this, then I wouldn't have an opportunity to be here today.
The reason why I'm here today is that God has put me in different places to teach people how to breathe, to really enjoy the value that God places inside of each soul without you asking for it. You don't have enough money to pay for God, what God can do. And when we really recognize that, we have patience in the process. And the Greek word of patience, patience means to literally wait in pain. It means to literally wait and trust God. That means to have a dream on Monday and believe that Friday God's gonna do it. This is what my story is about, enduring, breathing. If we ever have a problem in our lives where we feel like, man, life ain't doing this, I'm sad with this, that means you're not serving enough. Because if you're serving, you never get bored. So if you can start taking the hurt that goes on in real life, a lot of people are afraid to show up and show them. The Sabrina Hudson, in 1728, this lady wrote, a famous poet, her name's Sabrina Hudson. She said, I'm afraid to show you who I really am because that's all I have and that's all I got and you may not like it. That's what we live with in real time, where we can't, I messed up today, but I'm the president of Bank of America and I can't tell. This is the real time when you guys know these people, don't do this, do this. Start pulling them in. If anything brung me down to Houston, it was not to come to sell no books, it was to come to share breath with other people that are going through life, and some pretend more than others that they got it together. But I know it's hard to be here. It's hard to be who you didn't ask to be. So I ask on this journey that you guys commit to just being, I'm perfect. And as you begin to grow in that, and God gives you strength to endure the words, the people, he changing, he's this, that you begin to continue to keep growing in God. I'm Tommie Harris. I appreciate y'all. I don't want to waste y'all no more of y'all time.